The locals will tell you that the problem came because money established itself there. And people with money didn't want anybody else establishing themselves there and getting in the way of business. So if you owned a mercantile, you didn't let any other mercantiles in town. So they all went down the river to Kansas City, and the competition built Kansas City.
Well, there you go.
So
that's what happens when greed takes hold.
Exactly. Now, and again, that's only according to the locals. I didn't go into that part of it because why the city fell off didn't interest me. What does is it's such a sweet little town now. Its attitudes are a little backwards sometimes, but there's a lot of good people there.
Fair enough.
So, now, before we get into the various haints, I say we take a little time for a word from our sponsor.
Yes, being sponsored is good. Sponsor.
What? It was a golf clap.
It was something.
That was not a golf clap.
Anyway, take it away, sponsors. I shouldn't say this because it's going to be gone when I edit it out, but Lexi, you could hear her just bouncing around while we were pausing for the sponsors. So for a minute there, it's like we were sponsored by Lexi, which
it was kind of funny.
That was kind of funny.
It's kind of funny and definitely cute. Almost as cute as our Krysta.
All the cuteness. Boop, boop.
So
what came next? How did the place become haunted?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say, well,
people died there.
Yeah, people died there. Also,
people die everywhere. Not everywhere is haunted. You've got to give me something better than that.
Well, like I said, the city's built on a lot of limestone, and limestone seems to hold a lot of things, one of which is seemingly spirits, because towns built on it tend to have a lot of hauntings. Atchison is becoming famous for its hauntings, and Atchison is surrounded by limestone cliffs.
I see. So we're just going to blame it on the geology.
It's a theory. I don't have a better one. Talking to people, and we had people volunteer stories for us, a lot of which I didn't use because it's nice that there's a ghost in Joe's barn. But 99% of people will not be allowed into Joe's barn to check out the ghost. So I tried to stick to more public places for the stories, and nobody gave us a direct story of, ooh, I saw this cool thing. It was all just, hey, this place is haunted, that place is haunted. And I looked it up, and they're probably right. Now, modern city of St. Joseph is the county seat of Buchanan County and the 8th largest city in Missouri, with approximately 77,176 residents as of 2012. St. Joseph is the central service provider for a 7-county area of northwest Missouri and northeast Kansas with a combined population of over 155,000. And St. Joseph is probably best known as being the home of Missouri Western State University.
And cherry mash candies.
But the reason it's that Missouri Western State University is famous is it's the training camp for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that makes the town quite a bit of moolah these days. So.
Yes, but also cherry mash.
Cherry mash, yes. St. Joseph is where cherry mash come from. And if you've never had one, I hear you need to have one. Now, I don't like it. I'll be honest and say I don't. I am, though, in a small minority. I have known so many people that are seriously addicted. And I know several that will email me or, hey, can you get some cherry mash and send them to me? To which I say, no, I don't touch this stuff.
I'm a diabetic. I can't even look at it.
So let's talk some places. First and foremost, we're going to go with a place called the Social Parlor. Now, it's currently unoccupied, but it has been home to fur stores, craft stores, and various other places in the late 1800s through the early 1900s. Those that still go in there, for whatever reason, experience ghostly figures and noises. Many believe it is the ghost of a furrier, one of the ones who used to have a shop there. And do you know what a furrier is, Krysta?
No.
You should.
Sounds like furry.
No, a furrier is someone who catches animals, takes their fur, and sells the furs.
I don't want to learn about that.
But didn't we talk a little bit about them when we talked about the fort? About Fort Osage, because that was part of the main trade of Fort Osage was trappers and hunters, furriers, selling the furs that they got off of
trappers, yeah.
Midwest animals.
Yeah. So that's one place, the Social Parlor. And as I understand, it is closed, but I guess you can make arrangements to do a ghost hunt in the building.
Well, sorry.
Then there's Barbossa's Castillo. Now, this historic castle was formerly home to J.B. Moss and his family. It was built in 1891. It is now home to an authentic and amazing Mexican restaurant. Laura, you and I will have to go because, this place has seriously good food.
Wow. Okay.
At least one of the castle's former occupants still resides there, however. The staff reports shaking glasses that slide and move across the bar all on their own, plates that fly across rooms, shadow figures, and the occasional voice and full-bodied apparition.
That sounds interesting.
Yes. In fact, on their website, there are stories by several people that have seen things. And my favorite is there was a couple customers. I gathered from they didn't say, but I gathered from their review, they might have been older ladies having an afternoon lunch on a Sunday. And they had never been to St. Joseph before. So the restaurant was recommended to them. And they're like, authentic Mexican? Okay, let's go. And they enjoyed their lunch immensely. But in the main dining area, there's a lot of different knickknacks up on the walls and stuff. Just things, that they put there. And they noticed a serving dish. A metal serving dish that had been up on the wall just suddenly flew across the room, right? Crashed to the floor. Like, it didn't fall down. It was like it had been thrown down.
Gotcha.
So this wasn't, oops, it finally worked its way loose. No, this was like hurled with some force.
Wow. So much for enjoying your lunch.
And it crashed to the floor, startled everyone. And the ladies asked about it. They're like, does that sort of thing happen here often? And their server said, yeah, the ghosts do that all the time, and I get really sick of it.
Yeah, we get sick of the ghosts messing with us.
So, as bad as toast is, toast through bread, not serving dishes.
That's very true. You have quite the point.
Thank you, toast.
And I'm a little sad that we're going to lose our toast, though,
Yeah, I'm sad as well.
We're going to miss toast.
Now, there is what is now known as the Galore Psychiatric Museum. Previously, Galore was a psychiatric hospital that treated many patients in its heyday. It was a place where folks were incarcerated who had mental problems.
Mm-hmm. Mental problems.
Yeah, that's a nice way to say crazy is balloon. But yeah.
Some of them were crazy, but some people were just warehoused because they weren't easily weren't easy to deal with.
Oh, I know that's true. We're not even going to get into that because, yeah.
But since then, Galore was shut down and it's been reopened as a museum. And it's actually a fun little place to visit. It's complete with exhibits like variable non-edible objects that people have eaten that they removed at the hospital.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just lots of razor blades and pins and safety pins that I remember seeing, and I'm just like, why?
Everybody's got their reasons, I guess.
And the ladies that work in the office, super nice, more than happy to talk to you if you give them a call. Also, the place does allow groups to come in. If you want to do some ghost hunting there, they allow that, and you can work that out. Now,
cool.
The museum has become home to shadow people. That's one thing they see regularly, including one that can be heard muttering.
Well, no.
No muttering. No mutter.
You can also hear the sounds of crying and screaming from the empty rooms. And in the basement, a male apparition often yells, "What are you doing here? Get out."
Well, you know, if you're a basement ghost, you probably are not really all that congenial and friendly and want to hang out with other people, I'm just saying.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Now, a lady named Shirley informs me that it always takes longer to get from St. Joe than it takes to get to it. Now, that's roughly consistent with my own experiences. The St. Joseph is a longer drive away from than it is to drive there. That's not always true. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's roughly consistent. More often than not, it takes longer to get away than it does to get there. And Shirley swears the reason why has to do with a portal to hell opened up on a hillside near the Missouri Western State University campus that has never been closed. And once you get there, whatever resides in that portal wants to keep you in town.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not like you probably have many visitors to portals to hell.
Probably not.
One would hope not.
Yeah. And I've known several people who live in St. Joe that are like, I want to move, I want to go someplace, and they never are able to get out.
That's that small town.
It is, probably, but I think it's interesting that Shirley is not the only person that says that there's a portal to hell there. She's just the only one that would let me use her name.
Gotcha.
It's not like I went and found Shirley and said, well, talk to me, crazy woman.
Well, you know, sometimes.
Now, there's a St. Joseph Library called the Carnegie Library.
Nice.
That is a beautiful old place, but it's also apparently haunted by the ghost of a former librarian. Patrons and staff report moving books and disembodied voices telling patrons to be quiet. So apparently our children have been there.
Huh? Yeah. Right?
You and your sisters are kind of loud when you get together. That's all I'm saying. Now, one of the cemeteries in St. Joseph is the Ashland Cemetery. People have reported shadow figures and full-bodied apparitions. Local ghost hunting teams also claim to have seen orbs and recorded many of the EVPs. Now, here's a couple things on that. Orbs to me are like no energy
this
things.
Is like a camera fault.
Yeah, they're just like if you're telling me this place is haunted. Cool. What do you got? We got orbs.
No.
Okay, this place ain't haunted. What you got is bugs. And I mean, orbs to me are just like.
Let me know when you see something zooming past the camera lens.
Yeah, orbs to me are just like, it's so not even interesting. I mean, there's possibly an orb or two that is something more than just a bug reflected in a camera flash. But since they're so easily explainable, I just kind of take this place of, you just got to knock the orbs out. I don't care how many orbs. You could see 100 orbs. And unless they spin around you and dance the Watusi